This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. I want. Here's
Yeah.
Adam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Hey, this Christmas party is getting a little too quiet. I think it's time we liven it up with my favorite Christmas gift, Mr. Microphone.
Hey, what's that?
Well, you set the dial on your FM radio and testing.
I'm on the radio! These kids are having a fabulous time with Mr. Microphone, the cordless microphone that actually puts your voice on the radio. There are no attaching wires, so you're free to move around. Broadcast over any FM car radio.
Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later.
Professional entertainers use Mr. Microphone for rehearsing.
I got one.
I got one.
I got one.
I got one. I got one. I got one. I got a Mr. Microphone and I love it.
It's practical and great fun for the whole family. And it's only $14.88. Mr. Microphone, buy 2 or 3, they really make great Christmas gifts.
Hey, good looking. I'll be back to pick you up later. God, I saw that and I said, well, we didn't know how good we had it. We didn't know how good we had it back then. And that was a simpler life, but man, oh man, was it fun. And I live to tell about it. How the hell is everybody? Wednesday, getting into November deep now. Thanksgiving's only a few weeks away. Before you know it, Christmas, bye-bye. Hello, 2025. It's really crazy. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, right here every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on that East Coast. I want to thank everybody who takes part in being part of this show. It really makes a difference. I love you guys. I do. We got a good show tonight, I think. It's going to be somewhat, I don't even know if you want to call it controversial. It's like you can't please everybody. But I have to talk about these things. I just have to. I just have to. It's my calling, okay? Hey, good or bad. You may disagree with me, but that's because you don't get it. And maybe someday you will. Now, I can't have every topic be your favorite topic, but this is a tough one. This is a real tough one tonight. I mean, it got me thinking last week. In fact, I think it was right after the show. I don't know. I think about this stuff all the time. There's so much content in so many different directions I can go every week. And I have to make choices, and it's tough. It's tough, again. But I got to ask you a question. Do you think you're brainwashed? I mean, do you think you're brainwashed? Now, I know what the answer is. The answer is, hell no, Peter. I'm not brainwashed. And I got to say, that's the answer I'm pretty much expecting, because if you were brainwashed, you wouldn't know to admit it that you're brainwashed. This is going to be something that will happen after the fact, that you'll say, wow, I was once brainwashed. I never believed it could happen, but it happened to me. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because do you know people that are brainwashed? I know a lot of people are brainwashed, people I love very much. But then again, they're looking at me and going, no, Peter, you're brainwashed. I already had comments coming in early just from the promos from today. It's so dead set. No, it's you. No, it's you. What makes you think that you're not brainwashed? And I go, I know a lot that thinks that, a lot of reasons why I know that I'm not brainwashed. I almost fell into the hole and into that sea of retarded sexuality or whatever you want to call it. I mean, they did a good job. And the thing is, for those of you who are about to get mad at me tonight or disagree with me tonight, I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because if you're getting mad at me, it's because you truly believe in what has been sold to you. And the reason I don't blame you is because this is something that has been worked on and perfected by the CIA and the deep states and mind control and things that you say, oh, screw it. Yeah, you can't do that to me. Can't do that to me. It's been proven. It's been going on. Look at that. The things are going on. Starting already. It's been proven. And so if you fell for it, I mean, if you've, become part of it, it's totally understandable. And I'm not knocking you for it. It just happened. That's what they intended to do. And that's what is happening to a good percentage of people, unfortunately. But we're going to talk about it tonight. And again, so whether you agree or disagree with me, I hope that you'll at least listen, because this is how it happened for me. That's how I caught on to the bullshit. By friends, very close friends, being kind enough to not say, Peter, you're a friggin' idiot. I get enough of that on this show. But to say, hey, I don't know, but this is the way I see it. And so I just kept it in the back of my head. I kept it in the back of my head. And then every time something would go on, I'm looking there, but I'm looking over there too. And little by little, things started making a different type of sense. And I started coming around and I started thinking differently until all of a sudden, wow, this is a bunch of crap. This is a bunch of nonsense. And then from that point on, you're always looking, you always question everything. And it's not that I just learned that they lead you to believe to trust, and they don't. Here's what I want you to do, though. Comments. If you want to comment during the show, you need to be on the official Facebook Peter G Show page so I can see your comments live. You need to, or the official YouTube Peter G Show page so I can see your comments live, or the official LinkedIn Peter G Show. That's only 3 pages, unfortunately, that I can get the comments on the screen in front of me. The big old screen in front of me, if I can see. And I can, and I'll try to read a few of your comments. I will open up the phones a little bit tonight after I play a couple of videos to get your opinions. I'm only going to take 1 or 2 calls per maybe subject or topic. It depends how it goes. Most of you people are shy anyway, but I truly believe that somebody needs to call in, whether you're angry at me because you truly disbelieve what I'm saying, or you're in complete agreement, which is normally the only kind of calls I get. I never get the rebuttals. I wish I could, because I got plenty to say, and I hope that you can back up what you're saying besides just getting pissed off and saying I'm an idiot. I'm used to that. But I love you guys. Either way, I love you guys. I'm not calling names. I don't dislike you. I got, again, many friends that when it comes to what's going on in our world today in this country, I totally disagree with you. And I think that you are truly just misinformed. Because I have my beliefs, but then again, you believe what you believe, and so you're looking at me saying the same thing. I get it. But there's only one, somebody's going to be, if I'm wrong, I'll clearly say, hey, you know what? I owe you a huge apology. I got a big voice on here. I'll come on here and I will truly apologize. But nobody has yet to do that to prove me wrong. They just get pissed off and they go away. And that goes to show you, right there, you won't put in the work, and everybody's like, well, then show me. It's like, if I had to individually take each thing, one day I will. I'll break it down with somebody. I'll put somebody specifically on the show, let them challenge me to about 3 or 4 different topics of why you hate the orange man. And then I will have it set up to where I can prove those, all those clips and everything that have been rearranged and everything that have been to make it, make you think that he's such a horrible, horrible human being. Because again, I truly believe the media has set you up to believe that, and that's that. And it's not just one, it's all the media, because they were all in cahoots together. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry. They were paid propaganda. All that stuff's going to get straightened up within the next 2 years. I promise you. That's going to all go away. We got to start having honest or at least as close to honest accountability going on. So that's what's going on tonight. That's what we're going to do. I want to remind you, please, please, please share, subscribe. YouTube, they're killing me. I'll be really glad when we can straighten out this social media, all this silencing and shadow banning and all that. I'll be glad when they can get rid of that, because it has killed me. But I want you to please go to YouTube, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Facebook, the official Peter G Show Facebook page. Follow me there. Everywhere, any way you can. And don't forget, I love you for those who watch this show. If you're watching this show right now, thank you. Thank you. It takes a lot to watch, time out of your life. But a lot of people are still commuting home in the car. They have an hour plus drive. You're exercising. You're at the gym, whatever. Put an earbud in your ear and Google Peter G Show podcast. You can listen to the audio version of over 400 shows. Live, I can't do it. But the show will go up within hours after it's over. And you'll be able to take any of these shows on the road with you while you're driving in the car, while you're at work. We all know work is boring. We know that, but, take it with you. It's the next best thing to being there, and I appreciate it. And believe me, the audio podcasts are doing really well because a lot of people can't sit and watch. It's, it's a lot of time, but I love the ones that do, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, what else are we doing? We're getting into this. Okay, so we're going to get into the thick of things in just a minute. But first, I want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their money-saving fuel additive, the DX1 driver, because, hey, let's face it, folks, it makes sense to save money. Be right back.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. Clean Star Products. I can only tell you 2 things. It works. I use it myself. I was skeptical in the beginning. I said, I'm not going to talk about something if I don't know it works. And it works. Put one of these bottles in a fresh, clean oil change. Last the whole oil change. And every time you fill up your tank with gas, pour one of these bottles into your gas tank. I noticed the difference in about 3 or 4 different tanks of fuel. I started noticing my high mileage Ford F-150 that we use a lot to do all the dirty work around here, starting to feel a lot more responsive. And it started saving. I didn't have to fill it up because I mostly drive that car in town, and it drinks a lot of gas. And I just noticed that it was getting that better gas mileage because in town it just sucks it up because it's a big, heavy vehicle. But on top of that, even my daughter noticed it. You don't have to step on the gas as much to get it to do what you wanted it to do. They know what they're talking about. They have a product that works, but don't believe me. Here's what I want you to do. Please go to www.cleanstarproducts. There's a phone number there. I want you to call that number, and they will answer any question you have. And the reason I want you to call that number is because if you tell them that you saw it on the Peter G Show and you decide you want to order some and give it a try, tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show, and they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. 5 bottles for the price of 4. That's right, folks. Yay. Come on, a deal's a deal. Give them a call. Go to www.cleanstarproducts.com and get that phone number on there. Call them directly. Mention you saw it on the Peter G Show. And should you decide to order, they will give you 5 bottles for the price of 4. I'm telling you, cars are expensive. Fuel is expensive. Fuel here in California is getting ready to go up almost another 85 cents a gallon in taxes because of our stinking ass governor. I'm telling you, that's going to be the end of it for me. But well, that's another show. But it's expensive. Take care of your car, and this is the way to do it. They have a product that works, all right? And tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show. Save you even more money. Who doesn't want to save money? Okay, let's do this. I'm ready. Hold on. Did I tell you it was really great to be here? I don't see any comments yet. What's going on with you guys? You're quiet. Tell me where you're watching from. What city, what state, town, anywhere. I love you. Here, cheers. Oh, woo. Smooth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so there's no easy way to do this show for the topics like this because it's definitely just it's the way it is. Things are, it's kind of sticky. You're going to piss somebody off. But I truly believe that there was a big conspiracy to make the orange man the bad man for years. I truly believe it. Let's see what we got going on here. There. Tanya's here. Thank God. Somebody's here. That's one. That's one. All right. I just don't want to, I want to know that I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. Actually, I know I'm not, but it's nice to see that, audience participation. Come on, people, get off it. Let's go. I truly believe that for the past 8 years, whatever, they have been so against the orange man because he didn't come from the government cut of life. There we go. Look at this. I got a rock star on the show tonight. I'm watching. Voices with Vicky. Anybody don't know Vicky? She's got her own podcast, and she took time out of her life to watch this podcast. How cool is that? All right? Go check out her show. Voices with Vicky. She's doing some confrontational stuff because she believes. So anyway, I truly believe that they're so scared of him that they have painted him from every network, every corner, and bombarded you with nothing but negative everything to make him look bad, because it wasn't that he was going to do you harm. He's going to do the people who are cushy in government. He's going to kill their game. Right now, they're going to start trimming down government. All these people who have been sitting on their asses for years, career government employees. I hear them, they're crying already today. Career government employees, they're like, they might be losing their jobs. People who study, the progression of the inchworm. People who study on do pigeons mate or get more crazy while doing cocaine. I mean, there's insane stuff going on in government that people are getting grants for and studies and all these administrations within the administrations. It's time to trim the fat. There's too much government. And there's a lot of people that do nothing and get paid for. And I really don't feel too bad because nobody says, is feeling bad about the person who lost their small business. The person whose restaurant closed down because they couldn't stay because all that money's getting pissed away and our economy's going to shit. I don't feel bad. We got too much government. And they're going to I mean, this isn't like, an aggressive hate thing. This is a best for you, the people thing. We're spending money like crazy. And anybody who's going to come on and who comments after the show and says, Peter, I've had the best year I've ever had. It's like, well, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you're just one. Because many people, and in fact, unfortunately, I have people that are doing so poorly, and yet they still are against the orange man because they've been conditioned to be against the orange man. This stuff works. And I completely disagree. And I say, you got to let it go. And the only way you're going to see, unfortunately, it'll probably take about 2 years from now because he's got to, it's not going to happen overnight. Everything got Almost started using harsh language. Everything got really messed up this time around, which you don't believe that either. You don't believe anything because MSNBC and CNN told you how great they are. Just pay attention. If you watch those assholes on that network so much, all you have to see is that one day they're rooting for Biden. The next day, Biden out, no good. One day they were like, Kamala, no, she will never make it because she couldn't even get make it through the primaries the last time. And all of a sudden, 2 days later, all of a sudden she's a goddess. Which really tells me something about you. It's like, how the hell do you fall for that shit? How do you fall for that when one day they said, I mean, it's their words, not mine. But you accepted it. Why? I'll tell you why. Glad you asked. You are so into it because they have conditioned you for anything but the orange man. It was like any who but blue or anyone, whatever the hell those models were, which is stupid. It's just stupid. You're on the Titanic. You have a way to get off before it goes down, and you choose to stay on it because you don't want to get on that life raft because they said it wasn't it's a bad person trying to help you live. Come on, people. Which brings me back to the brainwashing. Wow, hang on a second. Oh, it's good tonight. Refreshing. We had a lot of questions. I go, Peter, what you got in that cup? Wouldn't you like to know? It varies. So, brainwashing. It's hard for people to accept. It's very hard for people to accept because they're going, I'm not brainwashed. You're a friggin' idiot, Peter. I'm not calling you out. I'm trying to help you realize something's not right. When you have all these people telling you this stuff, but yet it's really not happening. What happened today? Joe Biden himself has been calling, the orange man, he's going to kill democracy and he's Hitler and all this stuff. Today, they were at lunch together for 2 hours. This goes to show you how slimy politics are. Now, Trump has to go there because he's getting ready to go live there. But they keep saying Joe Biden was smiling ear to ear. I know they went in the back and they had to talk it out and talk a bunch of stuff because they were at each other's throats. It gets nasty. But that's politics. I hate politics. I can't stand politicians. I really can't. And that's the problem. Trump was not a politician. He's a businessman. He hates politics too, but he's got to play their game. But he plays it differently, and he's not looking out for the politicians. He's going to straighten all this crap up, and that's why they're so against him. They've tried to kill him. The politicians don't want him there. He's screwing up their cushy little nest that they have made on your tax dollars. Don't believe me. I always show you things from other people. I'm constantly showing you things from other people. It's not my words. And you hear it from your own news stations' mouths, too, how flip-flopping they are. They get fed a narrative within 15 minutes that goes out over the wire, and then every single news station is mimicking the same thing, the same catchphrases. Doesn't that sound funny, how they all start talking about the same stuff? Because they're all in it together. The pharmaceutical companies spend all the money on advertising to keep all these news stations alive and all that, and they do whatever they got to do. And that's just, they're whores. They're whores. All that shit's going to stop. All that's just, RFK wants no more pharmaceutical companies advertising on TV because they have too much influence. They make too much money. They spend the money on these news stations. These news stations have to kiss their ass. It sucks. It's going to be over. And we're going to get into reality again. It's going to be amazing. But you got to give it a shot. You got to stop thinking he's such a bad guy. Because all I can say is, what did he do to you that's so bad? He was in office. We all know that. He's not a threat to the people. He's a threat to the ones in government that don't want. He's going to get rid of all these shit generals. General Milley, the one that got up on the microphone, says, I'd like to know what white rage is. What a friggin' pussy. And I heard he was a good man at one point, but he got too comfortable. And he started getting paid too much money to be doing nothing and just a yes man. And you lose your way. You lose your way. You forget. He's going to clean all that out. And we're going to get people that mean business, that are for the American people. And you can, this whole thing with, what's so bad about saying make America great again? I just don't understand why you guys are so upset about that phrase. It's people wanting a good life for everybody. Everybody. And then they say, well, we're the brainwashed ones. I'm not even, I'm all about common sense. That's why I keep bringing it, because I just don't see what the hell you're talking about. And I've yet to have anybody call me on this phone and explain it to me. They don't. So I'll just keep on trying to bring out these issues through other people's, content coming from the sources. That doesn't make sense. But yet you still buy into this shit. So I'm sorry. But I'm trying to help you because I love you. How you feel about me is a whole nother thing. But here's what we're going to do. Let's get to it. This is Greg Gutfeld. Now, I love Greg Gutfeld. I think that their political satire show is actually funny. I love that show. I will be on that show one day because I love to make jokes. And they make jokes. They don't just bash. I mean, they hit hard, but they're jokes. You look at all these other late night shows, and the 2 seconds into the show, Colbert and all that, immediately bashing. It's not even funny. Gutfeld show is funny. They have different people on, and they all banter back and forth again, and they talk about current events, and they make fun. And it's funny. And I will be on there because I know funny. Just a matter of time, folks. Mark this on your calendar. Say, God, I remember when he said it'd be on that show. We said, oh, yeah, sure, Peter. I will be on that show. I just want to partake. I want to add to the funny. I think I can do that. But anyway, Greg Gutfeld explained. I happened to catch this the other day, and he explained what brainwashing is. So here's a clip. I want you to take this, and then after this, I'm going to open up the phones, I think, and maybe take 1 or 2 phone calls if anybody's watching and if anybody cares and if anybody has the guts to get on the phone. Nobody can see you. Just get on the phone and voice your opinion, whether you like it or not. Just do it. I only need 1 or 2 calls, then we'll move on to something else. But don't be sitting there waiting for somebody else to call when you know you got something to say. But check this out. This is Greg Gutfeld talking about how if you're brainwashed, you don't know you're brainwashed because you're brainwashed. It's that simple. I mean, it's common sense. All right, check it out.
I don't think this is about Democrats versus Republicans. I don't think it's about right versus left. I think that fight is over, and it's too small. There's a larger battle that is way bigger than that. It's us versus the brainwash. If nothing was real before Trump was elected, it's not going to change. But some people didn't buy it, and they had a superpower, and that superpower was their ability to see what was true. They understood that nothing in the media is real. It just so happens that Trump supporters, they reached that conclusion first because they became the target of lies and hoaxes. They were red-pilled before the Kamala supporters. And that will happen later. I talked about the Gelman effect, the amnesia effect last week. That's when a person who normally trusts the media finds them untrustworthy on topics they understand. So a doctor might trust everything he reads on the front page, except that piece on medical insurance, because he knows that's BS. Because when you know a topic, then suddenly you see the media for what it is. And that's what happened to Trump supporters after they read articles about Trump supporters. Wait, if they say that I'm a racist or a militant, what are they lying about everywhere else? Turns out everything. Because right now, this week, when you go outside, you got to look really hard for post-election outrage. I mean, we have to look for it. It's on The View, Kimmel, MSNBC. But go outside. Everything's calm, mainly because the American public spoke definitively There's no gray area here. You can no longer act like you rule. We spent many years with a tiny segment of elite society that tricked the world into thinking they were the majority while pushing marginal beliefs, trans beliefs. 10 voices on Twitter pretended to be 10,000 and we bought it. Well, no one's buying it anymore. We are actually the majority. We probably were all along. We were just too scared. So the calm that you're seeing right now is evidence that the hysteria portrayed by the media is no longer taken seriously. America got red-pilled. Now, the rest of us have to take a lot of these Kamala supporters and show them how they were tricked as well. Show them the Fine People hoax. Sit them down. Go like, this is what they said. This was the truth. That's the tentpole of all hoaxes. So the first step is to gently show people how every major anti-Trump story was a narrative created in reverse. That's why when you talked about the media looking at immigration, and that doesn't matter. No one's buying it. No one is listening to MSNBC, CNN, reading the New York. That shit is done.
He said it himself. That shit is done. And it's true. It's true. There'd be only a handful of people screaming and yelling, but they screamed and yelled so loud and they advertised it so much that it made everybody feel like it was the majority. And it really wasn't. But that was the perception of it all. Because, wow, the same thing with this whole election. They made everybody feel like Kamala's way up here. And she really wasn't. I don't even want to get into it. That's a whole nother show. But she spent over $1 billion on her campaign. And she's 20 million over. And she owes $20 million. She paid celebrities millions of dollars to show up for a few minutes. Beyonce, she paid her $4 million to sit there and talk for 4 minutes. She paid $10 million to, not Cardi B, what was that other one? One of those. To do that, one who actually did a concert. That was like at the very beginning of her campaign. $10 million. She paid celebrities who can give a shit about her. She gave Oprah $1 million to do her town hall. Oprah's friggin' a gazillionaire. If Oprah really believed in her, what's she charging her $1 million for? And Oprah denied it, but they proved it already because they paid Harpo Productions, her production company, $1 million for that stupid town hall to make it like she cared. They don't care, but they're trying to save their asses because they're covering up because there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes, and it's all going to come out too. Get ready, people. It's going to get interesting, and that's why I know. Let me calm down a minute. Give me a minute. That's why I know that within a year or two, all this stuff is going to come out and you're going to see how phony things were. And I'm not going to say, see, I told you so. I just hope you're cool enough to understand, like, okay, wow, I can't believe I fell for that. But I do believe you fell for it because they sold it really good. They brainwashed you. And I never believed that word, but it's true. That's why it's called brainwashing. They filled you with this stuff day after day after day. And that's it. That's right. Thumbs up. 818-259-7983. I want one caller to call me and tell me whether you believe in what I'm talking about or whether you think I'm full of shit. But you better tell me why. Because I'm tired of people just calling me names and they don't have anything to back it up with. There we go. Where are we? Hi, you're on with Life with Peter G. Who's this?
Hey, Peter. It's Tony. How are you?
My Tony?
Am I your Tony? Yeah, Tony.
I don't have too many Tonys in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only infamous Tony Green, who's been on this show. What do I owe this honor?
Well, you said call in if you have something to say, and heaven knows I always have something to say, right?
Cool. Well, let's hear what you got to say.
Okay, there's two things I need to say. First and foremost, the Dems picked a very emotional topic. They knew if they could get people on emotion that they would make the decision based strictly on emotion, and that emotion was reproductive rights. They've made it into such a big thing, even though most of us know at this point that it's been handed over to the states, and you have to elect in the right state people the way it should be. But they picked that topic. Now, if the Democratic followers had been paying attention, Dems were in office for 3.5 years by this point and could have easily changed any reproductive right issues if they truly were going to do that. But they didn't. They didn't. So now everybody's freaking out. Oh my gosh, Trump is in our reproductive rights. No, not at all. It is where it is. It's going to stay where it is. And that's it. The second thing is you can motivate people one of two ways, by the carrot or the fire. Trump chooses to use the carrot. I'm motivating you to come and get this carrot. We're going to make America great again. Here's the carrot. Let's go. The Dems, in this case, Kamala, whomever, chose to use the fire, which is divisiveness, separation, everything's bad. You're going to lose something if this happens. Those people who live in fear and are easily psychologically manipulated, and please don't come at me for that, but those who didn't do the research and really just bought into that emotional side of it went with the fire mentality. Those who have faith went with the carrot mentality. That's it. I mean, as far as the voting process, there's a whole lot more we could say on this.
They have conditioned everybody. They put so much hatred against the orange man that, that to where it's just impossible for them to, it's hard to turn around after that.
Yeah, you're 100% right. They did. And they did that in 2016, 2020. And of course, they continued it on now. But they know divisiveness works. They know to divide and conquer is the way to go. Look at when C-19 came out. What did they do? They divided and they conquered.
What's C-19?
The big vax.
COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they divided. Yeah, I was trying not to,
That's
but
okay.
but they took us and they said, okay, we're going to do this, and those of us who didn't, they turned those of us who did against it. So they know the divide and conquer works.
Oh yeah,
they really do, and they know. I'm going to say this, and anybody who there's two things anybody who is not aware should really look into. Agenda 2030. It's so important that everyone in most countries know about Agenda 2030. It's one of the most important things you can understand because it will explain everything they're doing right now. And the second thing is the book, I think it's called The Transformation of America. Those, one or the other, but if you can do both, if you can just look into both, it will be so blatant to you, no matter who you are, what the agenda is. We think, oh, they're doing this because of something this year, today, for today or tomorrow. No, there's a whole agenda they have planned that they're slow walking the cattle, the herd, the people into. And if people knew about it, there would be the ability to 86 it. Now, the only politician not on board with Agenda 2030 is Trump.
He's not even.
They invited him.
He's not a politician. He claimed,
Right.
he has to play politics, but he doesn't want to be a politician. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They invited him. They gave him the spiel, and he said, "No, thank you."
Yeah, That started trouble.
Which made them go after him so hard.
Right.
And try to take him down while he was president, not let him get reelected, and then try to stop it this time again. But if everybody understood what Agenda 2030 is and what it really meant for the people of those countries, they would never vote the same again. Never, ever vote the same again.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, for those just joining, I have celebrity psychic Tony Green on the phone. So when she's voicing her opinion, it makes you wonder what she knows that maybe some people don't even have a clue to. So I tend to lean her way. But let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Do you believe that people can be brainwashed?
Absolutely. I'm a hypnotist. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you.
I know.
Tell you.
I challenged you. I challenged you on this when you came on my show a few months ago about you couldn't hypnotize me, and you laughed.
Yes. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to start it this way. Peter, companies like Nabisco, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, they spend millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to understand exactly how to program people to eat their food, what causes them to become addicted to it, what kind of commercials and ads to run, what kind of social media thing to do. And it's programming. It's all programming. So they know. And as a person who owns her own business, one of the things that we realize is once you see something 6 times, if you've done any studying of marketing and advertising, once a person sees something 6 times, it starts to imprint on them. Okay? It becomes familiar. The more you see something, the more you hear it, especially if you hear it in an exact way, the more it is programmed to you. That's why you said earlier, every news station within 5 seconds, they're saying the exact same statements, exactly to the T. Taylor Swift is not a psyop. Oh, that's just weird. What they're doing is weird. And they use a word and then they just repeat it consistently. Now, that is programming. That is brainwashing. And when it's on the news, on every news station, exactly the same, along with being on every single commercial and every single ad for presidency, they know exactly what they're doing. They've spent so much money studying this. And if nothing else would prove it, the same people screaming, "My body, my rights," were the same people screaming, "Get vaxxed, we don't care if it kills you." That is pure programming. That is pure programming.
Not going to deny that. Again, programming, persuasiveness, just getting you, I mean, that's what advertising, I mean, they don't call it the boob tube for nothing, but I never thought it would be to this extreme where these news agencies and all these networks would lie. I mean, they've always kind of lied, but never to this extent. I mean, it didn't matter if the sky was blue; they're going to tell you it's yellow until they tell them to say something else, and they'll say it, with their lives on the line.
Well, think about this: when Obama was in office, he literally signed what is it? An amendment that you can propagandize our news. Why would a president, a sitting president, put in to writing that our newscasters and our news stations and reporters can lie to us?
But
what was the thinking? Why would they do that? So they could manipulate us through the news, because up until then, people could trust the news
for the most part.
For the most part, but it was never. It wasn't.
It wasn't this. This is so, and that's what makes it, I think, so hard for people to swallow that it's so much bullshit is because they trusted the news. It's hard to believe, like, why would they lie to us? But why didn't Trump, I got to ask him, I guess myself, why didn't Trump take that what was it called? The Smith-Mund Act? Why didn't he redact that and take it away? Because he was the one getting bombarded with, he termed the phrase fake news. I mean, if it was so awful, I don't understand why he didn't take it away back when he was president in 2016, 17, 18, 19.
When Trump was president, he did not do as many, give me a second while I think what it's called, that thing where they just, Biden did it his first day when he signed thing after thing after thing.
Executive orders.
Yes, Trump didn't do that. He tried to do things the right way, taking it through the steps it was supposed to go through. But there are some things that I question, like, why didn't they stop chemtrails? Day one, why didn't Trump stop chemtrails when he was in last time? But needless to say, maybe Trump tried to do it the right way and couldn't. Can an amendment, here's my question, can an amendment be undone? Can an executive order undo an amendment?
Yeah.
If there's a scholar, it can. Because you know what amendment I would like undone?
What?
Amendment 16.
A what?
Amendment 16. It goes right against our constitutional rights.
Care to elaborate?
Do you want to know what Amendment 16 is?
Well, yeah, that would help.
I believe I have the right amendment. If I don't, somebody please feel free to correct me. I believe Amendment 16 is where they changed that we don't have to pay income tax and taxes into, they have taken us from whatever percentage to practically 35% today. That in the Constitution, we're not supposed to be paying income taxes. We're not supposed to be paying all of these taxes, but they put in Amendment 16. Now, let me add, Peter, before you say something, it is there is no law. We're just all terrified that if we don't, there is no law that states we have to pay income tax. There is a person who put out a $50,000 reward for anyone that could show them a law stating we must pay taxes. No one, not even IRS workers, could find that law. And a number of IRS workers quit on that. So why isn't Amendment 16 been taken out? Why hasn't this one about the propaganda been taken out? When are politicians, any politicians, actually going to start working for the people that are electing them and not for the payoffs of the lobbyists and other countries and the money laundering that goes on?
Well, that's why
I think it off more than you answering my call tonight.
Things are going to change. I mean, it's going to be so, and I think that again, the Orange Man is going to be he's a lot smarter this time around. Even him missing the last election and sitting out and having to watch these last 4 years has been a huge education. And I don't doubt this time that the dream team we are going to restructure. You know, I thought about that, like the corruption in the FBI's and all the three-letter organizations, they are going to clean them out. I mean, they had to do that during J. Edgar Hoover and all those years and all that too. Things get out of hand when they get too much control. It's time to reset everything, and we're going to get back to basics and get this country about we the people instead of them doing what they think that they want to do and tough shit for us.
Okay, I have a question for you. Bringing up the FBI, I saw a video that said the Clintons own the FBI. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know how. Is it possible that a private person can own?
I think no. I don't. Okay. I think when you say that in a rhetorical kind of way. It's like, you know, like they have their hands in their hands in their pockets. And so they still have a lot of control, even though they're not in the scene. I believe that they got, the Clinton Foundation and all those stories we hear, and we make jokes about everybody who dies around them. Well, I believe there's still a lot of ties. I mean, they're not going away, but they will be going away. So it is what it is. But there's going to be a lot of change this year. I'm just trying to reach. I'm telling you, I was getting comments during the promos for today about the Orange Man and all the MAGA cult brainwash people. And it's like, forgive me for wanting to have a better life for everybody. I don't even call myself a MAGA. I just don't think there's anything wrong with that acronym for the saying of "Make America Great Again." I don't get it. I can't see how you could be so against wanting this country to get back on track.
Well, and here's what some people don't realize. First thing, anyone who would have been saying what Trump says would have had Trump's following. It's not as much about Trump as what he stands for. If some other candidate would have stood up and said, listen, we are going to fight to make this country prosperous and good and healthy, we would be right there with that candidate. Any candidate who would say that. Wait a
minute. She said the same thing. She was saying how we're going to turn the page and we're going to be great and everything was going to be wonderful. But she couldn't.
Yes, but she had 3.5 years to do it, and they went the opposite direction.
Not according to her fans.
Well, her people are based on
lies,
emotional. The only thing I've ever seen in defense of staying with Biden Harris was reproductive rights. That was the only thing people brought up. They would say, we don't want our reproductive rights taken away. And even now, when I'm watching what people are saying, they're saying, if you need reproductive rights, I hope you never get them. And it's ridiculousness because it is what it is. But that was their only hill to stand on, was reproductive rights.
I did a video. I did some information on this. It was a talking point. Nobody will admit that there's nothing that the president can do about what has already been done already. It's out of federal's hands. It's in the state's hands. You can't turn that back to the federal again. You can't, no matter who's president. But they never say that.
Right. And here's my question. All the people who wanted to vote for them because they wanted reproductive rights, why didn't they do that in the 3.5 years they've been in office?
Why didn't they do a lot of things? I mean, she could see if I was her running, I would have done something right then and there now to get elected, to go, but she didn't.
While she was running, if she really, because everybody was like, you're the borders are, and you just let millions in or whatever it is. She should have said, you know what, you guys, if we want me to stay in, we have to fake close the border just until January or until I win, and then we can reopen it, but let's at least fake close the border. Yeah. They wouldn't even do that. They wouldn't even temporarily close the border for her to get elected. Yeah.
Well, you saw all the border patrol. The border patrol had it with her. They had it with her. They wouldn't even back her.
And then, but my favorite people that backed her. Do you know who backed her? The IRS. Why are you voting for somebody that the IRS backed? Why? Yeah. Why in the world would you put your vote for somebody?
Yeah. Never has it.
That is the most ludicrous thing. Like, are you kidding me?
The IRS has never endorsed anybody, and all of a sudden the IRS comes out and endorses Kamala Harris. It's like, what does that friggin' tell you? That is the scariest friggin' thing.
If anybody really understood that, what are you thinking? Okay. What do you think? Oh my sweet baby Jesus!
I get it. We're talking policy now. We could talk about a million things on policy because there's so many different things. I just trying to get people to understand why they're brainwashed and why they don't know they're brainwashed. Because if you're brainwashed, how the hell are you supposed to know you're brainwashed? Because you're brainwashed.
Okay, so and I only have 5 minutes because I have a client, so I'm going to say this really very, very quickly. When you take something that's very emotional to a person and you create a fear of losing it. And you do that by repetition. That will brainwash a person very quickly, very, very quickly. So even if it's only on news, or if the person doesn't watch the news, but every song they listen to, in between it, they're saying, you're going to lose your right, you're going to lose your right. That emotion invokes such a program in a person's mind. Even when people come to me for weight loss, I tell them, I can't make you do anything you don't want to do or stop eating anything you want to eat. As a matter of fact, if I told you could never eat broccoli again during hypnosis, you would just crave broccoli. It has to be what you want. So when you invoke that fear and you tell that to people, they're going to obsess on it.
Fear.
And because it's attached to a fear, it's going to embed so emotionally in them.
Fear tactics. You're right. Look, I know you got to go, but I want you to give yourself a plug. Let everybody know how they can find you and see you and participate with you as well.
Well, I have a show on YouTube also, so you can scroll over to my show, Psychic Medium Tony Green, or my website, tonig.info. Peter, thank you so much for taking my call tonight.
It just came up and you came up. It was just like it, maybe psychic. I don't know.
Meant to be.
Yes, I guess. I don't know. I never get to talk to you, so I don't know.
Well, we will.
Yeah. All right. Listen, thank you for calling, and I love you.
Love you too.
All right. I'll see you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
She loves me. Tony Green, psychic medium Tony Green. I dig her because sometimes things come out of her head that's like undeniable stuff. When she's talking to you about, you're the spirit and all that stuff. For those who don't believe that stuff either, I kind of do. And, but I take things with a grain of salt, but every once in a while she really surprises me. And I like bringing her on because she's kind of fun and she's pretty, but she's fun. And it whole combination just makes it a good time for all. Brainwashing. I'm telling you, I'm going to show you a little something that I think is sinful. Where am I? I say that a lot. Where am I? This is what brainwashing will do. All right. Check out this couple of second clip, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it.
Slay or stay? Mwah.
Now you're probably saying, what the hell was that, Peter? I've seen this before, and this is where I think it's sinful, but it's also brainwashing, and to me it's taking advantage. Those are people with Down syndrome, and somebody has taken these young adults or these people with Down syndrome, and they have indoctrinated them and turned them into drag queens or drag, and they're called drag syndrome. I think that's what you can find them on YouTube. I mean, on TikTok and Instagram. It's called drag syndrome, and it's some people are using them and putting them on stage, and they've conditioned their brains. It's bad again. They freaking have Down syndrome, so they don't know the difference. And I'm going to put it real bluntly. This is the same thing like brainwashing. Not as severe, but you can give me hell about this all you want because I am politically correct. It's the only way I know how to explain this. If you have special needs, or they don't use this word anymore, but I will use this word because it really defines what I'm trying to say. If you're retarded, you don't know you're retarded. You're just who you are. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. God bless these people. Special needs, it's tough. You love these people with all your might, and somehow, reason or another, you're given a task to care and take care of them. But the thing is, it doesn't matter to them. They're just going through life oblivious because they think they're normal. So you take these people with Down syndrome and you start you start influencing them. So these people are getting into what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. They're pretty much leading them to believe this is really cool. But they're taking advantage of Down syndrome people, and they're saying, well, no, they love it. They love it. It's like, they don't know what the hell they love. But brainwashing, to some extent, is very much the same way. They keep influencing you with putting it in your head, and this is what happens. I mean, look, it's just the way it is. I mean, I hate to say it, but it sucks. But I feel really bad because this is somebody ought to be liable for this. These people are getting away with like marching these people with Down syndrome and glorifying it, just like we're glorifying all these LGBTQ, MOUSE, like extravagant, all this bullshit, when the true gay community and everything just wants to be gay and left alone. Brainwashing. Here's one more little clip of this drag syndrome, these people that get paraded around, and somebody's making money off of them too, I'm sure. Here you go.
I was shocked to notice that the drag queen on the stage had Down syndrome. They are a member of Drag Syndrome, the first drag collective made up exclusively of people with Down syndrome. In celebration of Pride Month, today we have the pleasure of speaking directly to Daniel Weiss, founder and creative director of Drag Syndrome, Culture Device, and the Radical Beauty Project.
So this man who created this whole thing is going to go off as being some glorious guy who's founded, these people with Down syndrome. But just because they got Down syndrome, how do you get away with saying, well, they're going to dress up in drag, and which really kind of gayifies them? It's nothing normal. Let's face it. It's nothing normal. I can deal with it, but I think it's shameful that they are coercing people who don't really know what they're doing into doing something and making them think like this is normal. It's not normal. Hence, brainwashing. Brainwashing. There we go. What's Alex got to say? Where are you at? Good point. I may be, can't see from here. I have guardianship, meaning they cannot enter a legal contract without someone going, what? I get it, but someone else signing. But the point being is that we're talking about brainwashing. I mean, how like people who don't know what they're doing have an excuse. But you as a normal human being kind of know what you're doing, but it was so well done and it was sold to you, they've convinced you that the orange man is bad. I'm going to hope to hell prove you wrong within the next 2 years. It's going to take a little time because they are going to fight them the whole way. Right now, he's picking people to take care of things, and every single person that he's going to pick, they're going to say it's stupid, it's wrong. I know Pete Hegseth, they just appointed somebody for taking care of defense, Secretary of Defense. And they're going, he's a Fox newscaster, so they don't really give you the full picture. They're making fun of him because he's from Fox News, and like figures Trump would pick a loyalist from Fox News, Pete Hegseth. And what they don't tell you is this man is a combat veteran. This man served 4 tours, Iraq and Afghanistan's. He's got 2 Bronze Stars. He has 5 or 6. He's got a huge family, children. He's a good man. He's a patriot. He knows he has served under many military generals and all that kind of stuff. He knows where it's at. He's not just a Fox News commentator. But that's what they lead you to believe. They're going to make everything bad. But the proof is going to be in the pudding, because at the end of the day, Trump's going to get what he's going to get, and he's going to be a lot smarter at it this time. And there's going to be a lot of controversy. There is. But they got to fight him, because what's happening here is he's going to clean house. He's going to take all the damn pieces of crap, and he's going to get rid of them. They've had a good ride. They're warmongers. We don't need wars. We don't even have enough ammunition. If we were to get into a war with China right now, we'd be out of ammunition in the matter of months. And it takes years to build it up, believe it or not. He knows. Bear with me. But then again, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to say, Peter, you're freaking crazy. Okay, great. I'm just asking you to keep it in the back of your head because I love you. I'm hoping you'll change your mind. Okay, what's Alan saying? Okay, whether a person with Down syndrome needs a legal guardian depends on their individual. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But here's the point. That makes it even worse. Somebody is saying, okay, this is great. You can go do gay tendency stuff. And I got no problem with people that are gay. All right? I don't. But what I have a problem is just like children. Children don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, how many little babies and kids you see, boys that get in their mommy's shoes and walk around in their mama's shoes and things like that? It's just part of being a child. But that doesn't mean they're gay. And if you are gay, I got no problem with that. But it's too early to be pushing that shit on them. If they're gay, they're going to figure it out when they get older. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's no response, no accountability here. Somebody's letting them go prance and promenade. And sure, they're having fun and they have a purpose. I guess, but that doesn't make it right. I don't know. I'm just merely using that as an example. If they're happy as hell, God bless them. Again, they got Down syndrome. They're happy as hell. They look like they're having fun. They don't look like they're being abused. I guess that's a good thing. My point being is that we're talking about influence and brainwashing on normal people, let alone people that don't even really, they have somewhat of a thought process, but it's not all there. Let's face it. God bless them. But this is what I'm talking about. And it's all about protecting. And protecting you. I'm trying to get everybody out of this funk that the orange man is such a bad person because they have conditioned you to hate the man. And again, it's going to take a little time, but I think we'll find out in the long run. Here's this. If anybody knows, it's Voices with Vicky. I got all these people with shows watching my show tonight. Thank you. Boys, it's just like the drag queen story hour. She's right. Go watch Vicky's show. I said it before. I'll say it again. Voices with Vicky. She's on YouTube and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. All right, look, I want to move on. I want to talk about freedom of speech. What time is it? It is late. How long are we on? I want to talk about freedom of speech. I really do. Because there's so many things. This is killing me. This is killing a lot of people on these streaming networks. YouTube crunches me. I'll get, one day a huge amount of people are looking at a post. All of a sudden, you put the American flag up there or something like that, and I get 3 views. It doesn't make sense. The censorship is out of control. TikTok is notorious for killing me and pulling my clips off. YouTube they throttle me back. It's hard to be popular if you can't be seen. They manipulate the algorithms, all that crap. Whatever they do, they have punished me before. Now they have me on just a slow drip that gets out there. But I'll keep fighting the system. The orange man's going to get to the bottom of this. I promise you, he's going to get to the bottom of this. But here's a little something from free speech and what Trump intends to do. And you tell me how this is a bad thing and he's such a bad person. After this clip, I want you to tell me on just exactly how this could be a bad thing. Here you go.
Seen this?
If we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple, just like dominoes, one by one. They'll go down. That's why today I'm announcing my plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people. They have collaborated to suppress vital information on everything from elections to public health. The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed, and it must happen immediately. And here's my plan. First, within hours of my inauguration, I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens. I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis- or disinformation. And I will begin the process of identifying and firing every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship, directly or indirectly, whether they are the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are. Second, I will order the Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified. These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws, the Hatch Act, and a host of other potential criminal, civil, regulatory, and constitutional offenses. To assist in these efforts, I am urging House Republicans to immediately send preservation letters, and we have to do this right now, to the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, and every Silicon Valley tech giant, ordering them not to destroy evidence of censorship. Third, upon my inauguration as president, I will ask Congress to send a bill to my desk revising Section 230 to get big online platforms out of censorship business. From now on, digital platforms should only qualify for immunity protection under Section 230 if they meet high standards of neutrality, transparency, fairness, and non-discrimination. We should require these platforms to increase their efforts to take down unlawful content such as child exploitation and promoting terrorism, while dramatically curtailing their power to arbitrarily restrict lawful speech. Fourth, we need to break up the entire toxic censorship industry that has arisen under the false guise of tackling so-called mis- and disinformation. The federal government should immediately stop funding all nonprofits and academic programs that support this authoritarian project. If any U.S. university is discovered to have engaged in censorship activities or election interferences in the past, such as flagging social media content for removal of blacklisting, those universities should lose federal research dollars and federal student loan support for a period of 5 years and maybe more. We should also enact new laws laying out clear criminal penalties for federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities to do an end run around the Constitution and deprive Americans of their First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment rights. In other words, deprive them of their vote. And once you lose those elections, and once you lose your borders like we have, you no longer have a country. Furthermore, to confront the problems of major platforms being infiltrated by legions of former deep staters and intelligence officials, there should be a 7-year calling off period before any employee of the FBI, CIA, NSA, DNI, DHS, or DOD is allowed to take a job at a company possessing vast quantities of U.S. user data. Fifth, the time has finally come for Congress to pass a digital Bill of Rights. This should include a right to digital due process. In other words, government officials should need a court order to take down online content, not send information requests such as the FBI was sending to Twitter. Furthermore, when users of big online platforms have their content or accounts removed, throttled, shadow banned, or otherwise restricted, no matter what name they use, they should have the right to be informed that it's happening, the right to a specific explanation of the reason why, and the right to a timely appeal. In addition, all users over the age of 18 should have the right to opt out of content moderation and curation entirely and receive an unmanipulated stream of information if they so choose. The fight for free speech is a matter of victory or death for America and for the survival of Western civilization itself. When I am president, this whole rotten system of censorship and information control will be ripped out of the system at large. There won't be anything left. By restoring free speech, we'll begin to reclaim our democracy and save our nation. Thank you, and God bless America.
Right here's why they fought so hard. Why they told all the lies. Why they called you names. Why they called him names. Because of this. They can't lose control, as Hillary Clinton put it. If you speak freely, they lose their control. Let that sink in. They said the quiet part out loud. They don't even feel embarrassed to say it. Well, it's over. America's back. Hashtag winning.
(818-259-7983) if anybody thinks that what you just saw of the orange man wanting to preserve your free speech, give me a call. 818-259-7983. Because if anybody knows about being squashed, being slandered, being manipulated, being shut down, they took him off of Twitter. The president of the United States, they banned him from Twitter. I bitch about me. He was the president of the United States. So he's going to preserve free speech for you. So somebody tell me, explain to me how he's so bad. He's going to make sure that we, the people, can say what we want to say without being punished for it. Whether you choose to believe it or not is another thing. Now, I understand there's within the law, certain things you shouldn't be doing. That's common sense. Again, back to common sense. But somebody tell me how what he's saying is so bad. Oh, he's going to kill democracy. He's fighting for your democracy and your freedom because they have been taking it away one hair at a time until you don't realize it, until you're bald, because it's only one hair at a time. It's so slowly, as psychic medium Tony Green said, they just slowly herding you in a certain direction until you get to that cliff. 818-259-7983 if you got anything to say about his pursuit to try to save your freedom of speech. He's going to demand that we get our freedom of speech back. He's going to make it happen that we get it. This is just one of the many topics. But this is how it blows my mind, because the bad orange man, they've programmed you to hate. He's going to take care of a lot of things. He's got a lot of people he's got people that are going to take care of business, and they're not going to take your rights away, and they're not going to take your Social Security away, and all this bullshit that you've been fed. And again, I got a lot of people that I know and love, and it breaks my heart because I see these people. And I saw this somebody I know very well, and he said, "Oh, I love Jimmy Kimmel." He's another one. Screw him. He hates the orange man, and he belongs to the people that tell him to hate and keep on shoving that hate. All I can say is, we'll see who's the last man standing. And it's going to be for your benefit. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's going to be to your benefit. That's it. It's that simple. 818, I'll give it 2 more minutes. Nobody calls, I'm done. 818-259-7983, because it's undeniable. You heard what the man said. He's going to make sure these people can't stop you from... I'm telling you, I made a comment today on something, and they go, and then all of a sudden Instagram says, you might want to rethink that before you post it, because if you post it, basically they're going to knock it off. They're going to take it down. And it wasn't anything bad. It was just Don Lemon. Don Lemon, that has been. The guy who was on, what was he on, CNN? They fired him, and now he's got no place to go. He almost got a job. Elon Musk was going to give him a job, and he pushed Elon Musk's buttons, and Elon Musk fired him on like day 2. You're a friggin' idiot, Don Lemon. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. How can, so now he's online, and I get it. His whole shtick is being the thorn in the side, like, just say something super radical to where you comment, it's just stupid stuff. Common sense. So I said something about, I go, he's irrelevant. He's a douchebag. He really is. He gets what he deserves. He's not dumb, but he just followed the narrative and does what they say. And I'm not a good follower. That's my problem. I get fired. I mean, I do what I believe in. I will never do something I don't believe in. It's that simple. Maybe that's why I'm still struggling here. But I'm okay. I'm okay. All right. I love you guys. I really do. I appreciate everybody sticking through the show, watching the show, but I need you to share. I'm doing this the hard way, people. It's up to you, we the people, to make this show grow. Please share. Make sure you're following me on all the different platforms, okay? Wherever you see me, Instagram. I can't get arrested on Instagram. Can't get arrested on. Oh, I forgot it's in Tanya's. Let's see. Happy birthday, Tanya. Tanya's birthday today, everybody. All right, let's go. She's going to go get her drink on. But, a happy birthday. I knew it was your birthday today, but we got all lost in the show. So here we are. Look, be careful. Get your drink on. It's drink time. Isn't it late? What time is it over there? But anyway, it's late. It's dark out. You better go home. Go to bed. Y'all, God bless you. Anyway, listen, I need your help. You got to go I can't get arrested on Instagram. I don't know what the deal is. Like Facebook, we're killing it on Facebook. We're doing really well, but keep it going. Keep referrals, right? I'm telling you, it's all about that. I don't spend money on again, brainwashing. I don't spend money on advertising and programming. You either happen to watch me and like me, love me, I hope, or you don't. I love you. I do. That's why I'm asking you for your help every week, right here. People write me during the week. I get all kinds of comments. I can't read the comments, too many, but I'm grateful. So please keep tuning in. Don't forget, don't have time to watch the show physically. Put an earbud in your ear. Google Peter G Show podcast. Listen to the audio version. Over 400 shows. You can listen while you're driving in the car, while you're at work. Work is boring. While you're exercising, taking a walk, whatever, walking the dogs. People love the audio podcast. So go for it. All right? I love you. I really do. Because I know what it takes to take the time to watch, and I appreciate you. I do. But I do this for you. I work hard. Doing the actual hour-plus show, this is the easiest and the most fun part of my whole week when it comes to this show. The work is the minute we finish, all the way through the week, finishing up, promoting, gathering content, new shows, wash, rinse, repeat. But I'm here, and you're here. And that's what makes it so friggin' awesome. All right? One more drink. So here's to you. The holidays are coming up. Don't miss next week. I want everybody to be here. I do. I'll have more stuff. Every week, that's the problem. It's loaded with stuff. That's why I haven't had guests on. We got a lot to talk about, but I got to get everybody on the same page. I mean, we just need to all get along. It is what it is, and it's going to be a good what it is. I promise. Salute. Woo. Okay. All right, next week. Are we done? Anything else? No, we're good. I want to remind everybody, life is kind of crazy, and people are going through some hard times, and a lot of people were butting heads because it's like, you're brainwashed. No, you're brainwashed. No, you're with the cult, and, and everybody take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Nobody really means it. We just mean well for each other. We want everybody to be happy, and everybody thinks one direction or another is the right way to go. And this is, we're in America. I respect your freedom of choice. I just trying to help you save a little time. And some people you can't help. It's just the way it is. It's everybody, how was it put to me? Everybody has their own journey. Okay. It's just the way it is. But there's a lot of people that are slap up angry right now. I mean, crying. They're friggin' crying and flipping out. I want to call them libtards. And again, some are my friends. They just don't get, they're so brainwashed. But I digress. All right. My name is Peter G. I want to thank everybody for watching Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday. Like clockwork. Don't forget all through the week, all the short clips. Like, comment, share, follow, all of the above, please. They're good stuff. 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast every Wednesday right here. God willing. And I mean that. In God we trust. You know what? It doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. So be there. Believe. Love one another. All right? You don't have to take a bunch of crap from people, but you don't have to be an ass either. Life is too damn short. And for those who want to be crybabies and you want to keep on screaming and yelling, so be it. Whatever. I'm not going to hate you. I just think that eventually you'll either get it or you won't, or that's just the way it goes. All right? Life is short. So here you go. For those of you that don't believe me about some people who just want to kick and scream the whole way through for the attention, more power to you. I love you guys. Peace out.
Please don't cry like that. Please don't, Brennan.
Peter G Show, Divorced and Single.